Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 271 based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng was disappointed within. Whether it was selling away the inheritance crystal or using it in the future, the rarer it was the better. From what he heard, there were tens to hundreds of the Dream Light inheritance crystal. Of the over 800 crystals the Hong Alliance has, the ones with the most similar crystals is at most 101 of them. The city leader stood there, chaos energy revolving about him. The Hong Alliance only has one Dream Light inheritance crystal, hence the price of yours is pretty high. Luo Feng was happy within as he listened intently. A God candidate inheritance is lower than a God general inheritance. The city leader said, even with great progress in the God candidate inheritance, one would at most reach the limit of Emperor level. Only with the fusion of the crystal and becoming one with it would one have the strength of a normal knight, which is the strength of your teacher True Yang. True Yang? Luo Feng was shocked. The city leader nodded. Your teacher True Yang is invincible amongst the emperors, akin to a normal knight. This is the strength level of a Dream Light messenger. As for the candidate, even with great progress in all the techniques, he would at most be a pinnacle warrior, not akin to a normal knight. Also, there is a bad side to accepting this inheritance. If one doesn't make great progress in it, that's okay. However, if one goes far with it, their limit in their life would forever be that of a candidate. The city leader looked at Luo Feng, meaning, training in the inheritance techniques may raise one's strength early on, however later on, they would be affected by it and never will be able to truly become a knight. Ah? Luo Feng stared wide-eyed. Couldn't become a knight? Fortune begets disaster. One would be extremely strong early on, but never able to become a knight. Becoming a knight itself is extremely hard, hence many geniuses don't have that kind of ambition, even willing to train in the inheritance techniques. The city leader said, as one has to be sector lord level to train in the inheritance, undyings are unable to receive it, hence the price for each inheritance isn't too high. Luo Feng nodded. Right. If a sector lord could receive the inheritance, how high could the price be? Normally they have their teacher's help. Within the Hong Alliance, accepting one inheritance, one can use points to exchange for it. It's usually priced within 1 billion to 3 billion points. According to the different inheritance and power levels, the price differs. The city leader continued, if it's a God general inheritance, that's completely different. The Emperor Undyings all fight hard for their slots, getting their teachers to help. The price of one time alone could reach several tens of billion of points. Also, they would owe favors for getting their teachers help. Tens of billions of points along with favors, just to try and get one chance for the God general inheritance. The city leader said, you should know how much more valuable it is. True Yang has accepted one before. Ah. Luo Feng was curious. A God candidate inheritance has a limit of an emperor level strength. Even becoming the one and only candidate would allow one the strength of a knight. The God general inheritance is trillions of times harder. The moment one accepts it, that would have the limit of knights. Even against universe masters, they will be able to survive. It's akin to the creator of the Nanshan 7 forms, 11 Luo Duo. Also akin to the Tianxia Palace master whom you know, though it's not truly the level of a universe master, they can be considered almost at that level. The city leader said, of course the God general inheritance is much harder. It's extremely hard for one to complete them. Even so, they still benefit a lot. Definitely much greater in amplifying the soul and other techniques, even strengthening the body. Luo Feng nodded. He had received the inheritance before. His spirit energy amplitude exceeded 3,200. God candidate inheritance, God general inheritance. The difference is huge. The strength difference is huge, so are the future prospects. Hence with regards to the point exchange within the Hong Alliance, the difference is huge as well. The city leader looked at Luo Feng, as to the Dream Light inheritance crystal you've got, it's useless in your hands. You have two choices. 1. Sell it to the virtual universe company, it will be priced at 30 billion points. 2. You can use it to exchange for a God general inheritance, as there is only one every 10,081 eras, the next suitable one for you will happen 120,000 years from now. Two choices, you can choose. After he spoke, he remained silent and awaited Luo Feng's answer. Luo Feng was troubled. Two choices. Tough choice. 30 billion points had many uses. He could exchange for many treasures. If used well, they could raise his strength greatly. No one truly knew what they truly needed at each point in time. After all, it was hard to predict what encounters they would face. The God General inheritance chance was much more valuable, something that emperors would fight for with the help of their knight teachers. Spending tens of billions of points and owing favors just for the chance of a slot, Luo Feng was very clear, having received the demon note inheritance before, just how heavenly the inheritance was. If he received an inheritance related to the body, his body amplitude may rise tens of times. That would be impressive. Deities of the world, at its limit, could only amplify 36 times. How do I choose? Even though the God General inheritance is good, it'll happen 120,000 years from now. I won't get any benefit within these years. Luo Feng frowned. If it were other warriors, they may immediately exchange for the slot. Luo Feng was different. He had only lived for a few thousand years. What was 120,000 years? It was simply too long. His accomplishments within a few thousand years were this much. Just how much could he grow with that 120,000 years? What would he encounter? There would definitely be times where he would need more points. He stood there and considered hard for 20 seconds. With his calculation speed, he thought of countless answers. "Teacher?" he said respectfully. "Have you thought of an answer?" The city leader looked at him. "I would like to keep the crystal for now. As to whether to exchange it for points or a slot for inheritance, I'll make the decision when the time comes," he said. "No problem." The city leader nodded. "I will help keep a slot for the God General inheritance. That one is for the square God General inheritance. I will keep it until 120,000 years later." "Thank you, teacher." Luo Feng was grateful. There was no such thing as saving a slot, was it that simple? This was purely the city leader helping him out. "Go on." "Yes." Luo Feng left respectfully. Watching Luo Feng leave the palace, the city leader nodded within, looking at the army footage of Luo Feng. He can actually easily kill a pinnacle official, even using a flame god crystal to kill a low emperor. Even though the Shawu wings diffused a lot of the explosion, its strength lies in its speed. In terms of attack and defense, they are secondary. His golden horned beast body can actually withstand the blast. This disciple's encounters are much more mysterious than I thought. Who knows what they are? Other race inheritance? Or a special treasure from the universe itself? Or something from before the Big Bang? He shook his head. The encounters and treasures are there, but everything still depends on the person. Let's see how far he can go. The city leader knew much about Luo Feng. However, with regards to the Nameless manual, the soldier and general armor, no one knew about them. It was unknown amongst humanity. However, as he observed Luo Feng's growth, he naturally deduced Luo Feng definitely had some powerful encounters. Only with his own knowledge and vision he could think of countless possibilities, but it was hard to confirm which it was. Within a cave on the Yangji main continent, Luo Feng had set up his temporary base. He activated his mini-scanner and his cloud contact vine spread 10 kilometers about as security. The Mosha body had become a stone within the cave. As for Luo Feng's earth body and the golden horned beast, they began to train in the second volume of the Nameless manual. This second volume is much harder than the first. How? The genes are evolving. How unbelievable. As he trained, Luo Feng couldn't help but compliment the manual. Training the first volume had led his genes to evolve past a normal human sector lord. Now with the evolution of the second, his genes could evolve to the level of a normal golden horned beast sector lord. Humans and the golden horned beast had a huge difference in gene level. However, with the Nameless manual, it could remedy that. A technique that surpassed the laws of the universe. It was simply unbelievable. The beast's body completely crumbled. It once again began forming a new body within, continuing with the training. Within the second month of his training, in his villa in the primal region Yuxiong Mountain, virtual universe. "Your Majesty, a team from the Hong Alliance has come." The manager Dylan pointed outside. "Ah?" Luo Feng walked over, frowning. "Hong Alliance?" Outside the large entrance of the villa, a group of undyings stood, all with different appearances, some human, some from other races, a total of 9 of them. "Greetings." Luo Feng walked over, curious. He could guess, from the formless pressure they gave off, they were all emperors. "Your Majesty Luo Feng." The leader was a pink-armored lady with pink long hair, her body somewhat translucent. She smiled and Luo Feng was naturally affected by it. "We are a special envoy group of the Hong Alliance. We've come here to formally invite you to join the Hong Alliance." Luo Feng frowned. Joining the Hong Alliance? According to the information he had gathered on them, along with talking with other powerful warriors, normally only emperors would get officially invited. Becoming an emperor was the prerequisite to joining. He had never heard of a sector lord being invited. Please come in, I'm quite surprised by this, can we sit and talk slowly? Luo Feng smiled and asked. Since your majesty invited us, we naturally would not reject. Luo Feng led the team from the Hong Alliance into his spacious villa's living room. Luo Feng had already gotten his people to prepare a banquet earlier on. Please sit. Luo Feng smiled. The members all sat down. Simultaneously, they looked on with interest at Luo Feng. Since they were in this team, they naturally knew about him, that he was the disciple of the legendary being the Primal Chaos City leader. And to be invited into the Hong Alliance at Sector Lord level, it showed that he wasn't ordinary at all. I still don't know your names. Luo Feng finally Saturday. Human, Desire Emperor. The leading absolute beauty, the lady with pink armor smiled and said. Ferocious Clan, Chasing Lightning Emperor. Fog Clan, Dripping Water Emperor. The 9 envoys replied, there were 2 humans, 7 other races, all emperors. All emperors. Luo Feng complimented, it's rare for me to meet so many emperors too, and other race emperors. The weakest in the Hong Alliance are at least emperors, we are not worth your compliments. Desire Emperor's smile was enough to make an undying mesmerized and faint. You should know the reason for our visit. The Hong Alliance involves many other races forming a huge alliance. We definitely will not force anyone to join. However, once one joins, he cannot betray the alliance. Are you willing to join? The others all looked at Luo Feng. Of course. Luo Feng nodded. What a joke. Who would dare reject an alliance with all the super warriors of humanity within? His 2 teachers were also a part of it. How could he not join? And once he was in, he would know almost all of the emperors of humanity. This was truly expanding his horizons and network. Ding! The moment Luo Feng replied, a glaring star appeared within the living room. It was resplendent. It became a beam of light and flew onto Luo Feng's shoulder. Rumble. A blurry image of a human silhouette floated in space. His formless pressure and the light he projected made it so that Luo Feng and the other emperors couldn't lift their heads to get a clear view of him. It was almost like ants facing a god, no resistance. The light silhouette lowered his head and looked at Luo Feng. Human Luo Feng, the light spoke. It was hard to tell whether it was a man or woman. It pierced straight into Luo Feng's soul. Welcome to the Hong Alliance. From now on, you are an official member. The universe is filled with dangers. For the race to survive, warriors have to fight. Whether it's for the Hong Alliance or humanity, this is a duty for everyone, and yours too. The light dispersed, the voice resounding over and over within his mind, and there was silence in the living room. To fight for the Hong Alliance and humanity. Luo Feng muttered. Excuse me. Luo Feng awoke and looked at the 9. May I know who was that? Even though the city leader always controlled his strength around him, he would occasionally emanate energy comparable to that silhouette earlier, and that silhouette's energy earlier didn't seem weaker than his teacher's. That's an enigma of the Hong Alliance. The cool-looking bug soldier chasing Lightning Emperor laughed. Every time someone joins the Hong Alliance, this scene will appear. It would make countless members wonder just who that is. Some say it's the appearance of one of the Hong Alliance's palace masters. Some say it's some AI. The virtual universe can simulate any kind of pressure. This is a possibility. Luo Feng asked curiously, a palace master of the Alliance? Your teacher, the respected Primal Chaos City leader, is one of the palace masters. They are all beings that surpass the 7 stars. Chasing Lightning said. Surpass the 7 stars? Luo Feng looked at the 1-star mark on his shoulder. I'm considered 1 star. Right. Chasing Lightning nodded. Anyone who just joins the Alliance will all be 1 star. 1 star is the lowest position of an official member. Everybody starts there, don't worry about it. 1 star when one just joins. I'm naturally not affected. He said curiously, this 1 star, 7 stars, palace masters, can you explain to me? Desire Emperor quickly jumped in beside. Luo Feng, you are already a member of the Hong Alliance. You can read up on the detailed information yourself. Desire Emperor said, everything can be searched. If we explain to you, it'll take forever. There's simply too much information about it. We cannot summarize everything. Before you enter Hong Alliance City, take a look at the information. That way you'll understand more before you get in. Luo Feng nodded and smiled. Since I'm already an official member, let's have a banquet together. Ha ha, how can we reject a banquet from your majesty? It's a rare chance. The team of 9 emperors wished to get close to Luo Feng too. It was after an enjoyable banquet that Luo Feng left the group. Within the study, Luo Feng sat in his study and swiftly began to read about the Hong Alliance. That's quite a bit. He held his breath and read. He didn't have access to the information before, now there was plenty to get through. Pictures, footage, words, everything. From the pictures and footage. The main camp of the Hong Alliance was within a space specially opened by the Virtual Universe Company. That space had countless stars, and in the center was a huge floating ancient city. There lived countless warriors. It was the Hong Alliance city. It was where countless humans and other race warriors gathered. It seemed peaceful. It was the virtual universe after all. The security was strict here. Everyone had different levels of authority according to their strength and contribution. Their strengths were determined by their battle records. The higher they were, the more points they got, and they would be separated into 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, until 7 stars, a very simple distinction. All warriors had their star markings on their shoulders. That way, it was easy to see who was at what level. Those that just joined were all 1 star, and later on, according to their battle records, the Virtual Universe System's Hong Alliance point system would automatically calculate and appoint stars to them accordingly. 1 star, a mark of a newcomer, they were normally normal emperor level. 2 stars, a strong warriors amongst emperors. 3 stars, emperor limit. 4 stars, the beginning knight level, true yang was at this level. 7 stars, the lowest level of a universe master, the Tianxia Palace leader was at this level. What a big city. The Hong Alliance city is separated into the outer, inner city along with the palace. Luo Feng looked at the footage and complimented, the humans sure have many strong warriors, close to 100,000 emperors. With the other races together, the number of emperors exceed 3 million. In the footage, the ancient city that floated amidst the stars had a blur of warriors. About over 3 million emperors gathered together, their strength split into 1 to 3 stars, all living in the outer city. The inner city was almost empty. The ones with 4 to 6 stars lived in the inner city. These were almost all knights. At the core of the city, there was a majestic over 1 million kilometers tall palace, almost like a huge blade piercing into space. This was the Hong Alliance Palace. There lived the 7-star beings. These beings were at least on the level of the Tianxia Palace leader or 11 Luo Duo. The palace masters were those that surpassed the 7 stars. They were all beings that could easily shake up trillions of races. This is the true hidden strength? Luo Feng exclaimed. The primal chaos city leader had the ability to reverse time and revive other warriors. Over countless years, the accumulation of warriors, Luo Feng had guessed that there would be many emperors. However, there were a total of hundreds of thousands of human emperors. The Hong Alliance's other races truly make it strong. The pinnacle other races are very strong, even though they are weak alone. With so many gathered together, there are a total of over 3 million emperors. Even so, the leader of the alliance is still humanity. Looks like in terms of pinnacle strength, humanity still wins. Luo Feng could easily guess. Like 11 Luo Duo, he was already considered the greatest being in history of the Gold Horn race. And his level, similar to that of the Tianxia Palace leader, they were still not at the peak of humanity. The Huge Axe founder, Void Gold Master, Dragon Line Master, Primal Chaos City leader, the difference in strength was obvious. Humans as leaders, taking up huge territories and resources, naturally the other races can only follow and serve from behind. Luo Feng thought. Who knows just how many palace masters there are in the alliance? Luo Feng had tried searching, but his authority level didn't give him anything. Luo Feng carefully read through the Hong Alliance information, getting more shocked as he read. The Hong Alliance gathered all the strong warriors about, and just who would get the treasures owned by an entire race. Naturally, the powerful emperors or knights, and the universe masters that stood above them all. They owned large amounts of the entire race's wealth. Hence, several auctions held by the banks for their guests, compared to the deals of the Hong Alliance, were considered small fry. Their normal deals alone were worth billions of mixed elements. Some larger deals were worth even more. Some other even rarer items only involved barter. Auctions. Huge deals. Elite teams that explored secret regions. Outer region wars elite team. Teams formed from similar interests and goals. In all, even though there were only more than 3 million in the alliance, they controlled large amounts of humanity's wealth and protection. Humanity was ruled by the Hong Alliance. The Primal Chaos City leader, Void Gold Master and other superpowers, they may all benefit the survival of the race. However, when it comes to their own personal development, there would naturally be conflict. After all, the city leader, Void Gold Master, Dragon Yang Master, they all had their own goals. Humanity had its own internal competition. The other races naturally fought hard to get more resources too. In all, the Hong Alliance was a true place where fish and dragons mixed. The powerful were all within. Just the information I'm allowed to access has so much, it sure has huge benefits and the competition is fierce. I'll have to spend some time studying this information. However, I'm currently training the Nameless Manual Volume 2. The Earth body's training is fast, it'll complete soon, then I will have enough strength to stay on the main continent with just the Earth body alone. Yangji main continent, within his base. Luo Feng wasn't in a hurry to go to Hong Alliance City, it was a deep and huge place that he'd have to explore properly. The first volume of the Nameless Manual took 3 months for the Earth body to complete, the Golden Horned Beast however took 29 years. This second volume should be about the same. As time passed, in a blink of an eye, Luo Feng had already trained in the second volume for close to 3 months. Internal world, within the vast beach. A half-naked Luo Feng sat cross-legged on the sand, his body glowing as he gave off a different energy. Just like the Golden Horned Beast or Huisuo Beast, even asleep, they gave off a powerful energy. This was the pressure formed from the evolution of life itself. The Golden Horned Beast was a pinnacle bloodline, at Sector Lord Pinnacle, it was 10 times that of a human. Completing the second volume, his Earth body would be 6 times that of a normal human. That was akin to the royal family of the demon race. He opened his eyes, done. My body has reached 6 times that of a normal human, not the 9 times that I guessed. He shook his head and laughed. I'm too greedy, this gene evolution is already heavenly, it's made my body akin to a royal bloodline demon. If I complete the third volume, I'd probably reach the pinnacle space beast bloodline. This Nameless Manual had a total of 9 volumes. The first amplified 3 times. The second, 6 times. The 3 rode. Until the 9th. Simply relying on it allowed his normal human body to evolve past a Golden Horned Beast or Huisuo Beast bloodline, his basics would surpass all. Breaking through the constructs of the universe laws, just how heavenly was this? Luo Feng's high position naturally made him realize just how valuable this technique was. Time to try absorbing blood river crystals. I absorbed a total of 8 before. Now that I've completed the second volume of the Nameless Manual, my foundation has grown further, almost compared to a Golden Horned Beast, akin to a royal bloodline demon. He thought, I may be able to become the black warrior that hasn't occurred over countless years in Blood River continent. The ocean rushed against the shore, covering his calves. Begin. He flipped his hand and a beautiful Blood River crystal appeared. He slashed his palm with his finger and grabbed the crystal. The pain from the absorption of the 9th crystal was easily withstood. He stood on the beach, regaining his composure after a while. Very good. Success. The absorption of the 9th was successful, let's see how the 10th goes. The originally calm Luo Feng couldn't help but hold his breath, swiftly grabbing another crystal, easily withstanding the illusions. As the energy poured into his body, it was completely different from the Golden Horned Beast absorbing the energy into separate parts of its body. This energy poured into his entire body. All his muscles shook violently. Ka. His expression changed as he fought hard, looking down at the crystal in his palm. It was already translucent as the final changes occurred within his body. I must succeed. I must. He frowned and felt his entire body. His bones and muscles felt like they were being torn apart, about to crumble at any time. The blood river energy poured into every cell in his muscles and the pressure within grew larger and larger. Finally, as the last bit of energy entered, the pressure faded away like water seeping away. The scales that had covered his entire body began to disappear. Luo Feng stood quietly on the beach, silent. Ha ha ha, I've succeeded. I've become a black warrior, a true black warrior. He couldn't help but wave his right fist excitedly, triggering ripples in space as his powerful force rushed in all directions, causing the calm waves to rise over hundreds of meters into a tsunami as it poured over. 10. The 10th has succeeded. The Black Warrior is a legend in Blood River world, yet I've succeeded. Even though he knew early on that he might succeed, he still couldn't help get excited over the success. His success was actually very normal. In terms of genes, he far exceeded the aboriginals of Blood River world, even akin to a royal bloodline demon Chi Nyo. Chi Nyo even absorbed more than him. One was because its genetics were high enough, secondly he was an aboriginal of Blood River world. From birth, it had been shaped by the formless beast god pressure about, it naturally could absorb better. Even though I almost failed at the end, it went through. If my guess is right. His eyes gleamed. Whether the earth body's strength soars or grows slowly, it all depends on this. Blood River energy. His eyes gleamed with madness. Rumble, dark gold appeared throughout his body. His eyes gleamed dark gold too as his body seemed to shrink a little, almost like iron, sturdier. At this time, he didn't seem like a human at all, he seemed like an absolute beast. My guess was actually right. His eyes gleamed with glee. Ha ha ha. I actually got it right. Triggering the blood river energy in the earth body after absorbing 10 crystals creates a change in my genetics. My strength actually soars and reaches 10 times that of before. He was extremely elated. Right, his body strength was 10 times stronger than before. Back then when the golden horned beast absorbed 10 crystals, its right claw had the strength of its entire body, akin to 2 times that of before. One was 2 times. This was 10 times. Luo Feng had guessed this early on. The theory was simple, as the golden horned beast's body was huge, the blood river energy could only cover its right claw. Just its right claw could absorb 10 crystals, akin to its entire body's strength. Just how strong was it? The claw alone was akin to only 1/10 of the body before, now it was as strong as the entire body. 10 times. The claw was at least 10 times stronger before it absorbed the crystals. The beast had absorbed 100 crystals, making its right claw now 10 times that of the entire body. How much had it evolved? At least over 100 times. The beast's body was huge, it was both a good and bad thing. The bad side was that it made absorbing the crystals harder. The earth body absorbed the crystal's energy into his entire body evolves, naturally his body could easily reach 10 times that of before. Very good, that's a good surprise, looks like my theory from before is right. He was very excited as he shouted, "Beast God transformation!" Countless scales began to appear throughout his skin, he became a human beast god. I've succeeded. The beast god transformation is a success, ha ha ha, my earth body has enough strength now. As he thought of battles ahead, he couldn't help but laugh loudly. Training in a Nameless manual evolved his genes, his strength was akin to 6 times that of a pinnacle sector lord human. With the trigger of the blood river energy, this evolution from the blood of the beast god itself, made his strength rise 10 times. He thus now had 60 times that the strength of a human pinnacle sector lord. The beast god transformation's first level amplified his strength by 2 times. That was 120 times. The general armor's requirement was 100 times sector lord strength. Ha ha. I've got another emperor's strength. The human beast god flipped his hand and a silver crystal appeared, general armor crystal, general armor, fusion. The general armor immediately entered his body and became countless threads that connected to his every cell and muscle and organ etc. The pressure from the fusion was huge, however now Luo Feng could easily withstand it. The word general appeared on his chest before disappearing within. General armor, appear? A silver armor swiftly appeared throughout his body, it gave him the strength of 10,000 sector lords, easily making his body strength reach emperor level. Along with his blade work and pinnacle techniques, he got the strength of an emperor. Ha ha, from today on, I have 2 emperors worth of strength. With the earth body and the golden horned beast both at emperor level, those I'm unable to deal with alone, I can use both bodies. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.